Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory belong to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopefully elect, all right, the men that are pushing this word out in truth and in sincerity. All right, this is the brother Yakal coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. This is basically an in transit, driving, but I got this precept I want to touch on, or really a couple of precepts I want to touch on, and it's really pertaining to, there are certain carnal things, little things that we overlook, and not pay attention to the benefit of them, So let me read this. This is Sirach chapter 19 and verse 30. It says, a man's attire and excessive laughter and gait show what he is. All right. It says a man's attire, the way that a man dresses, all right, the way that a man carries himself, all right, and excessive laughter. You always skinny your teeth, everything is a joke, all right. And gait, gait go back to posture, your pace of how you walk, all right, the structure, how your body is, but predominantly, your pace and the way that you walk, right, show what or who you are, you see. And these are little things that we overlook, all right, from time to time in this truth, which is basically you taking care of yourself, you taking care of yourself, all right, because sometimes you be so consumed, you reading scriptures such as John was eating wild locusts and wearing camel skin and all these different things, and you thinking that this how you gotta be, or there's nothing wrong with being like this, which there isn't, right? There isn't, but at the same time, or I should say, something to consider too is the time that we in, all right, and you really and truly don't want to make yourself a target, so what do? You take care of yourself, all right. And I'm speaking carnally, right, which is just, hey, you buy some nice clothes, you buy some nice cologne or whatever, you understand, you take care of yourself, you ensure you brush your teeth, you floss, whatever it is, keep a proper hygiene, and this should be mandatory regardless, and you get some nice clothes, some nice shoes, whatever, and you dress properly, and then you showing up to the camp, with beat up clothes, and your shoes all beat up, you coming through with short pants and slippers or slides, which the apostles already put an order out there, that shouldn't be, all right. And you have a certain oomph, for lack of a better word, all right, a certain confidence about you, take care of yourself, dress nice. The scripture also say, I'll quote it, that bodily exercise profited little. From time to time, we read these scriptures and say, oh, it profited little. So it really like something that you should pay much attention to. But when you really go into it, it's really comparing the profit that you would get from exercising, all right, comparing it to spiritual things, to the spiritual blessings, to the spiritual gifts, and compared to that, it is little, but on a carnal level is a whole lot, it's a whole lot. Me and the elder brothers was having a conversation last night about it, the benefit of you having a clear mind, a sound mind, your body feels right. You walk properly. You have a certain confidence about you. All right, because your blood is circulating. Your brain is kicking. You know, you're not having certain brain fogs and all these different kind of things. You see, so lucky. Let me see if I can pull this precept. Yeah, this is Sirach chapter 11 and verse 3. It says, the bee is little, right? Salakia. It says, the bee is little among such as fly, but our fruit is the chief, all right? Is the chief of sweet things, all right? And you might look at the bee and say, you know what? It's insignificant, but that which that cometh from the bee, you know, is worthy to be praised. All right, and there's the same thing with certain little things that we overlook. You know, giving the example of what? Exercising. All right, bodily exercising. Giving the example of dressing properly. You know, while the things that give the greatest benefits is you studying and reading and you know, being occupied in prophecy. In all things, guess what? There's a balance to it. All right, and a great part of the balance is you taking care of this housing. You know, this lump of clay. You know, until such time where the Most High see fit. You see. So hey, don't. The point of the lesson is, look, don't you know, overlook the small things. All right, there's great benefit that come from it. You see. Anyways, Lord's willing, this quick one was edifying, giving all praises, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Makakodash. Double honors unto the elders and to the apostles of Greek and Stone, and salutations to you brothers out there pushing this word out in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.